No. The first 30 seconds is all you need.
You're good. We're going to talk about it. Why it sounds like the way it sounds. No, I'm joking. All right.
Why is it so terrible?
Okay. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Talk Story Unscripted. And we've got a full screen today. And we've got a guy we haven't seen in a couple of episodes. Doug, how you been? Are you rested up? Yeah. Just so you guys know, Doug has missed a couple of podcasts because he had just finished up a huge documentary on the first missionaries to Hawaii, and it's awesome. I haven't seen the finished one because Doug won't let me see it. But anyway, hopefully we'll be able to see it soon. But it's going to air this Sunday, premiere Sunday on a local TV station, and then again here at Colo TV. When is it going to be on Colo TV, Doug?
May 10th, Mother's Day, at 6 and 8 p.m.
That's awesome. All right.
There's our plug.
That's a good plug. And speaking about plugs, we've got two guys below us, Matt Garcia and Andrew Messenger. How are you guys?
Good.
Welcome to the show, guys. So cool to have you here.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks.
They're all the way from a place called Southern California. Soul, right? And it's so good to have you guys here. And how are you guys going with this whole pandemic thing?
Matt.
Yeah, it's crazy out there, you know. My wife and I are just home. We're just, staying here, not doing much. Left the house maybe twice in the past month.
Oh.
Yeah, crazy. Go to the store, but other than that, I mean, it's just been nuts. So hanging in there.
Yeah, working from home, lots of Zoom calls, Zoom meetings, pre-recording worship for our weekend services. So lots of things have changed, but a lot of things have kind of stayed the same. But yeah.
So you guys are both individually worship leaders, right?
Yes.
So Andrew, where are you leading worship, or where are you part of the worship team at?
I'm part of the worship team in Calvary Chapel, Costa Mesa. So I lead my own team once a month, and then I basically play keys and sing like backup vocals the rest of the month, basically. So I'm usually playing pretty much every Sunday.
That's great. How about you, Matt?
Yeah, so I lead worship at my church, Calvary Chapel, Laverne. I've been the worship leader there for years and years, and it's my dad's church. My dad is the senior pastor of the church, and so I get to lead worship twice a week or so, and we get to bring a bunch of guests in as much as we can to kind of fill in the space and give us a little break. But
dude, I think I met your dad. We interviewed him for the Call on the Street that we did about Pete.
Yes.
Yeah, that's him.
That is so cool. I love the connections. You never realize who's connected with who.
Yeah, my dad and Pete go like way back. I'm sure Pete could tell you all about it. But same with Andrew's dad as well. So it's all,
Speaking of way back, I think Pete was just showing me some photos. Can we show those photos? Do we have permission to show?
Oh my
I
gosh.
know what you're talking about.
Andrew, lucky for you, I don't have any shots of you, but I do have.
Oh man.
Yeah. So here's a shot of Matt as a Jedi Master. In the streets.
Oh my God.
Lightsaber.
You guys can't see it now, but the audience does.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm waiting to.
Throwback.
So
Those are the glory days.
Yes, the glory days. My son Ezra and Matt, and I think it was Aaron in there, and they're all doing their whole, lightsaber battles in the middle of the street. Yeah.
It's so much fun.
I think they had rehearsed the whole end scene of the third Star Wars, right, Matt?
Yeah.
The whole
Really?
Yeah.
Totally.
We had so many different routines down, and we just play Star Wars all down the street with the whole routine. Yeah, we just did it last week, so it's pretty fresh still.
I miss those days so much. I was an only child, so my routines were all solo, and I did Jim Carrey lines, every day, all day, every movie. So I miss those days, man.
Yeah.
Man.
See one. Let's see an impression, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Right then.
Hey, Doug,
Yeah. That's good.
Doug, I can get some lightsabers so we can have a little fight here in the office. All right.
We're
Just so you
perfect
feel
season. Yeah.
All right, but you guys together, Matt and Andrew, you guys, although you're doing worship for your local churches, which is awesome, but you guys also are doing a joint effort and have been doing a joint effort for a while. Why don't you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah. Andrew, you want to go ahead?
Yeah. So, Matt and I have been lifelong friends. Our dads kind of grew up in ministry together, and since we were born, we've been friends. But when I was 5, I kind of like moved away, and then did my thing, and my family moved around a lot, and then I ended up in Idaho, and then in 2014 I actually moved back down to California, kind of reconnected with them. I was living with the Garcias for 6 months, and during that time we just started like playing worship together, and kind of connected, and just kind of like started playing for different churches, and it kind of blossomed into this thing, and then it became Heritage. And then I've been writing songs since I was like 14 or 15, and so over the course of that that period of time, I basically was just still writing, and then just things just started materializing into like what Heritage is. And I remember getting a dream one night, and with like the name Heritage, and it makes sense because my dad's a worship leader, and our parents were in ministry, so it just kind of made sense name wise, and the story of our upbringing and the things that God's done in our life. So it's kind of
So it's Heritage because you are the heritage. Wait, how's that go? You're the heritage of your parents, or you are your parents' heritage. Which one is that supposed to be?
Right. I guess it's like we have inherited something from our family, and that thing isn't necessarily tangible, but it's the spirit of what they kind of taking the torch from them. And
good word.
Yeah.
I love. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's cool because not only as our parents were served in ministry together, and so it is like a continuation or passing of the torch of that to the next generation, kind of a thing. But also us as the body of Christ and as believers, as sons of God, it's our heritage to worship the Lord. So that's a continuation of that. Our godly heritage, and that's what we're continuing.
I love that. That is really cool. It's like a personal thing, and then a personal huge thing.
Yeah.
Right, of the grand scope. And I love your guys' music. Pete just introduced me to it, and I was listening to it, and I was telling Pete, I was like, I've fallen off the wagon listening to Christian music. I used to listen to it all the time, and then for some reason, I just don't listen to music. And I listen to your guys' music, and I'm like, this is awesome!
It's cool. It's funny because awesome. I feel like Christian music, people have so many different ideas about it, but it's kind of really on one side, it's kind of like really, I guess it's congregational worship music, which is awesome, but also on the opposite end, music you could just kind of jam to in your car.
Yeah.
Talking about Jesus, but it's still like a lot of fun, That's
my jam, dude.
Yeah.
So we kind of like play. We do a little bit of both, but we love, we lead worship at church, so we love doing that. We love, having fun with it. And
heck yeah. So okay, correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong on this, but you guys remind me of the digital age. Has anybody ever told you that before?
Digital age. Is that like what's his name?
You don't know the digital? It's David Crowder Band without
David Crowder Band. Yes. Yeah. I've heard of a little bit of their stuff. It's really good.
I love their stuff, and your guys' stuff reminds me of them.
Yeah,
it's a huge compliment. Thank you.
Their stuff is way better, Doug.
Yeah.
Digital age. Yeah,
You can't say that hurts my feelings. Nonetheless, your guys' stuff is really, really good.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
excited
yeah.
for people to hear it.
You know what's funny is that so, I know I don't look it. I look super young.
You do.
I grew up with their dad. So I remember you guys came to Hawaii and did worship at the church at the time that I was involved with. And it was the weirdest moment for me. I'm thinking, these are all kids of my friends and they're up there leading worship. Like,
Wow.
freaky. And I remember sharing that with your dads. So I was one of the guys, with Mark Garcia and of course David Messenger. David and I, we go back a long ways too, and Andrew's dad, and Dave. I remember I was a worship leader. I know, hard to believe, right? But I was the worship leader, and I remember telling the senior pastor, "Hey, I'm kind of a joke of a worship leader. If you want to get a really good worship leader, a guy who's finished college, he went to APU, he knows how to write music, let's get Dave Messenger." All right, and so Dave came on, and that was really good, and so that's kind of the connection we have here. So I'm the guy behind a guy behind a guy.
So many layers. Yeah.
So
Inception.
David, wait, no. So Andrew, your dad, David, was also a songwriter.
Yeah. Songwriter, worship leader.
He's still alive. He's still alive.
He's still alive.
He still does write music.
Yeah, he still writes music. And even plays and musicals, and he's a very creative guy.
So Matt, your dad. First of all, what do you do? What instrument, or do you do vocals? What do you do?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I play guitar and I sing.
So does your dad do guitar and sing also?
No, it's funny. My dad, he plays a little bit of ukulele. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome. So what did he do normally in the band?
Well, my dad, he wasn't in any band. He was at the church they were involved with. He was in charge of all the video and all that kind of
That's
stuff.
right.
Yeah.
I remember him talking about that.
Yeah.
And they made a music video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the guy that I used
Yeah.
to go to, Doug, to try and learn was with Mark Garcia. And
That's right.
That's dad. I go, hey man, I was just learning it, and then so we kind of learned together. I met Mark when he was in college, in university, doing a cinematography course. So what's funny now though is Mark went on to do other things, and so now he's calling me up for advice on cinematography and cameras and stuff, which is hilarious. That's really weird, but yeah. So yeah, it's an interesting life. What is it? Reality is stranger than fiction. Whoever thought?
Yeah.
I can't believe we're sitting here doing a podcast with these little kids.
Little kids.
Here we are.
All grown up.
Let's move along. So you guys have been working. So you have one album out. Is there a name on that album, or is it just Heritvge?
It's just it's an EP. It's 5 songs. It's Heritvge EP. It's our first project.
Yeah.
Can I make a quick note question? I noticed that the A is turned upside down.
Yeah.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit of the reasoning for that.
It's funny.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's so many things named Heritvge. I mean, there's like cemeteries. There's like there's
You can think of
like elementary schools. I don't even know. Like there's just like so many things. And so to distinguish between those different things, we decided we're at this like round table like discussion together. Like, how do we distinguish it? Is it like heritage worship? Is it like the heritage? And then there's a band called Churches, and they've kind of like flipped their not flipped, but the U is a V. And I think what they basically them explaining it was that they did that to distinguish themselves in like Google searches and social media and things like that. And I feel like it's a really creative way to like to distinguish yourself. So we felt like the name Heritvge, we could probably basically use that same idea. And basically when you type in that specific spelling, we're the first thing that comes up on Google.
And I can tell you that it works because I just did it. First
Right.
thing that came up was you
Right.
guys.
Right.
That's smart, man.
It's funny because so many people get like confused by it. Like, what is that? What is that spelling? They call it like
Heritvge. Heritvge.
Heritvge, yeah.
It's crazy because like we thought, this is so unique in a sense. Like, who would spell heritage with a V in their name? And if you look us up on Apple Music, there's a musician who stole our name. And is currently under
He
our
stole your name?
Yeah, he's like post music under our like heritage thing.
Oh wow,
It's weird.
Well,
I don't know
that's
how
weird.
that happened.
It's so weird,
It's
but
like all names in the world, there's the same name.
so weird, yeah.
So weird.
But we're getting our own page, thankfully, and you can still find us there. But
that's
yeah,
great.
it's so funny.
It reminds me of there's a movie, I think Tom Hanks is in it, and it's back in the 50s, 60s, and there was a band. They decided to call themselves the Wonders, but they spelled it with one O-N-E and endures. And so everybody started calling them the O-Nighters.
Right.
Yeah,
It's so funny.
it's such a funny movie. But anyway, hey man, look, I wanna get into your creative thing, because that's what Talk Story Unscripted is about, is the creative journey, aspects of what you do. And so you did your first album, but now you're actually working on a second album. And
Right.
tell us a little bit about that. And what's the process? You guys go through demos and that type of thing? Matt, tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so after our first project ended, and we finished the first project, and we decided to take a little break, like a kind of hiatus kind of a thing. I was getting married, my brother was getting married, Andrew was working full time, and a bunch of things were going on. So during that time, we were kind of taking a back seat and still writing here and there. But pretty much our process started. Andrew and I got together and we started talking about heritage. Man, we'd love to start writing again and putting some songs together. And so that's where it all started, or picked back up, I should say. And that was about a little over a year ago that we kind of picked the ball back up. And Andrew's written so many great songs over the time. He's like, man, I feel like this is a really good heritage song. Or we would sit down and kind of just dissect these things together. And so it all kind of started with the writing process, obviously, with the melody or a song that was already written or an idea of a song. And we just sat together in a room and played through them. And my brother, David, ended up coming along. Hunter, our guitar and bass player, ended up coming. And from there, it was just, so we write first. And then from there, we ended up getting a room together and tracking these songs together. Like we just played through them, musically with the drums, the bass, the guitars, until we really like them, like get the arrangement kind of down where we wanted it. And then from there, we would dissect each part, kind of like a pre-production. How do we like the drums doing this? Do we like the guitar doing that? And then from there, we would actually scratch, track, and record a basic version of the song.
Can I ask a really big question? Sorry, Pete, I didn't mean to cut you off. This is a mystery to me that I've never understood on music writing, because it's out of my element. How does that happen? Because I listen to so many songs that are so unique, and off the top of my head, I can't even think of a single song. But these songs, you can say the puppy went on the street, and it's the puppy went down the street, and it's like, how do you map that out to sound so unique? Because so many songs, a lot of times, especially in mainstream, you can't even understand what they're saying. Most kids can't understand what the words are saying, but they know the beat, they know the rhythm of what they're saying. How do you map that out?
Yeah, Doug, they don't do it like that. I'll tell you that right now.
They don't do puppies that are running in the street?
We actually have a song called "The Puppy Went Down the Street."
Oh, you ruined it, Doug. You ruined it.
Come on, man! You're giving away all our secrets.
Andrew, we want to hear that song. All right.
Yeah. Yes.
Let's talk about a song. So do you guys have a song that we can kind of go through now? Tell us a little bit about this song that we're going to hear. So this is at the demo level, right? So you've written it, and now, see, Doug, we're going to answer your question. And now you guys have recorded it. So tell us about that, Andrew. Tell us about what you're hearing.
Yeah, so the song's called Love on the Horizon, and I think this probably will be the title track for the project. And at this point, it's pretty far along the demo process. Basically, we've kind of been getting together weekly and with Zoom and just kind of going through the project as a whole and just looking at it and looking how we can improve it, whatever. And then from this point, we'll probably go into final recording and kind of redubbing and, kind of honing in and perfecting the things that we've already recorded. So this is basically that song, Love on the Horizon, and in its kind of demo form.
Let's have a listen for a few seconds.
This song sucks.
Dun, 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 dun.
So this whole synth intro, that's kind of cool. So what, like, did that just kind of come and you guys just put that together, or what?
It's kind of weird how it all works. After this, we all kind of we have like a Spotify playlist that we have, I guess, that one of us started and Andrew started it, and with all of our favorite songs from different bands and different feels and vibes that we really like. And so it's on this huge playlist, and so it's almost like the I don't know how you would explain it, the whole body of the song, all the sounds are kind of coming inspired by all these songs on this playlist. So from there it really sets the vibe of how we like, and then we would apply some of that stuff to our own music. It's kind of filtered through that and then put in our own version, our own words, like this sound, I guess.
Right.
So this demo, Andrew, you said was pretty far along. So do you guys have issues with it right now with what we just heard, or are there things that you want to change or add to? What would you say?
Yeah, I mean, I think I wouldn't say there's issues per se. I think that there's still a few things that we're hearing, or that I think that music requires space. So I think a lot of times we'll get it to a certain point, and then we'll kind of listen back and be like, oh, we could kind of change this. And I just think it's important to have this kind of process where we have a little bit of space to think about it, and I think that kind of is right now, we're hearing it and we're just kind of I don't know, it's like brewing or something. I don't know the right word, but I just think songs require a lot of room to just come to
get through. So I think that Doug wants to ask if the real space here that is needed is a beautiful, scratch that lead vocal, because I mean it's great and everything, but Doug, go ahead, you can pitch it now. I know you've been wanting to be part of the band an hour ago.
Come on, man. I got my puppy song. I'm ready to go. No, but
Maybe
I am gonna.
It should be called Puppy on the Horizon.
Puppy on the Horizon. I love that one.
Bark, bark.
Ah.
No, but
Bark,
genuinely,
bark. Yeah.
Genuinely though,
More
I
cowbell.
need more cowbell. That's what we're missing.
It does.
But I do want to ask though, how I mean, you could easily say millions, if not billions, of songs that exist. How do you write your music to make it unique amongst all these billions of songs?
Yeah, what's cool is that I think, at least for Heritvge, it all kind of starts, obviously a whole heart behind all the songs we write for the band. It comes from the Word of God, it comes from the Bible. And the cool thing about what God has done in His Word and what He's doing in our lives currently and what He promises to do is that these things are eternal. And they're things that are, it's this living Word that's everlasting. So it's like an endless well, the well that never runs dry. So there's so much there. So when we come together, I remember us, this is last year when some of the writing process, we're sitting there with our Bibles open, kind of talking, what is God doing in our lives? What is God showing us right now? And from there, it'd be as easy as if for Love on the Horizon, for example, is wow, this is such a picture of, someone who's fallen away from Christ. And, but we still have a hope that there's forgiveness and there's grace, and God's drawing us back. So there's this hope that is on the horizon, the next, His mercies are new every morning.
Right.
Kind of thing. So although you can mess up, but still there's hope for you and there's the sun that's still rising. So there's still love that's on that horizon. So it's kind of just taking those things and filtering it through into a very few words, how you would say what's on your heart, just in a smaller version, I guess.
Doug, I'm feeling a music video thing here right now. I mean, you know, one thing I love doing is going out and watching sunrises and so forth. And I know some really cool spots we can go shoot. I've got a little drone now, and we can go shoot some, you know, awesome, huge panoramic stuff with the horizon, with the sun coming up. And you're right, joy comes in the morning. That's for sure. That's awesome. You know, I love it. So, right, Doug? What do you think?
I mean, I think we need a music video with some scenic, beautiful Hawaii footage and your guys' music. What do you think? What do you guys think about that?
We're ready.
Yeah, let's do it.
You can't be doing it in LA. Come on, man. There's no horizon in this building.
There's smog and
fog. You know, it looks good right now, right? Nobody's driving around, so that's good.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, I think we are almost out of time, guys. So we have enough time to put this music in there. But I do want to say in closing that I think it's awesome. It's out of my league, out of my element but I think it's amazing and a beautiful mystery that you guys can take your experience with God and what God's speaking to you through His Word and translate that musically. I think that's so cool. It's a gift, and I wish I could do it, but I can't. And so I'm going to enjoy your guys' doing it.
Yeah. Thanks so much for being on the podcast, guys. Man, that time flies like that, right? It's crazy. But we want to play your songs from your first album. And we'll have you back on when you guys have finished this album. Hurry up already. And then we can we want to show this, and I know we don't have a music video of you, so we're gonna make one. Doug, we're gonna make one.
Please.
Lip sync.
Yeah, I think we'll dress Doug up as a puppy, and we'll
That's right.
throw him
Green
around.
screen.
Yeah.
Really great.
Yeah. And
Awesome.
by the way, on the screen right now, we have some links that you guys, anybody who's watching and wants to hear more of Heritage, you can go to this website here and you can hear their music. You can get it on Apple Music as well. So yeah, check them out. These guys are great, and so good to have you guys. And say hello to your dads for me.
I will.
Definitely.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much for having us, man. May the Lord continue to bless Kalo TV. It's so great what you guys are doing. So thank you for having us. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, man. God bless you guys.
Bless ya.
Every tongue, every daughter, and every son.